Hey everybody, it's the OMAD Dad. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, a channel that is dedicated to living the OMAD lifestyle or eating just one meal a day. Well, it's just after Easter 2019 and the weather has finally changed. Finally getting some warm days here in New England, so I'm taking advantage of it. My two kids are taking their nap with my wife, so I'm going out today and getting my exercise, getting my walk. I'm going to walk for about an hour or two, for however long they'll sleep. Just gonna enjoy the beautiful day. I love springtime. Love this time of year. Stepped on something there. And I thought it would be a perfect opportunity today for me to discuss with you and do a video about calorie counting. Calorie counting is probably one of my most asked questions when people email me or leave comments in the comment section down below of these videos. Two things which I hope you guys continue to do because I love hearing from you. Many people are confused because there's a lot of videos out there that are saying on one end you don't have to count calories at all, just eat to your heart's content within your time frame. And then there are other videos who are saying that you need to count your calories right down to the last sprig of parsley. So it's very confusing for people, and I want to give you my tips and advice, and you can kind of take it for what it's worth. When I first started doing this, I did count calories, and I did so mostly just as a guide. I did it for probably the first couple of weeks, just to get an idea of, how large my meals were, making sure that I was getting enough nutrients, making sure that what I was going to eat was going to be sufficient for me for the day and last me. And just a beautiful breeze today. And so that's how I approached it. Do I still count calories? No. Every once in a while, roughly. But when I see videos of people saying that calories don't count, it always kind of perturbs me a little bit. And I've talked about this on my channel. Calories absolutely do matter. If I ate 4,000 calories every single day, even whether it's in my OMAD or not, I'm not going to lose weight. I'm going to eventually put on weight. One of the things is that people who eat 4,000 calories a day are in the gym or in a pool or whatever they're doing, and they're training like an Olympic athlete for hours on end. And so they're burning thousands of calories. Well, for those of us that don't do hours on end of extensive exercising, or those of us who are just getting moderate exercise, or who overall lead a pretty sedentary life but are looking for ways that can get us healthy and lose a little bit of weight like OMAD, advice like that is something that's going to get you in trouble every single time. You're going to have difficulty on this plan if you would follow advice like that. Now, the way I approached it was I went online and I found just a simple Google search and you'll find it. I got a BMI calculator, and you enter in your age, your height, and your weight, and it'll tell you roughly how many calories it takes for you to maintain your current weight. My current weight now that I've lost the pounds, takes me roughly 1,700 calories a day to maintain my weight. That's a really large meal, okay? I usually don't eat that much because I fill up. Roughly 1,200 to 1,500 calories is, in that ballpark, is usually what it takes for me to fill up and eat my meal. Where a lot of the confusion is going to sit in is that if you're having a diet that's mostly processed food or fast food, or say you're going out to restaurants a lot, it's very easy to sit down eating those portions, even within an hour time frame, and kill 2, 3, maybe even 4,000 calories in a sitting. It's very easy. But when you're cooking most of your meals at home, or if you're eating mostly whole foods, you're going to find that it's extremely difficult to have just a massive ton of calories in one sitting. So you have to go by and think about what type of meal am I having? What am I doing? I think another thing that happens too, I'd say one exception is if you're just starting out, say this is your first week and you haven't really quite gone through the 4 or 5 day period that tends to be very, difficult, especially if you've never fasted before, then, often people will say, well, I feel like I overcompensated in the mealtime. And I've done a video about that. You should check it out on the channel. It's okay. It's okay if you go a little bit over your calories the first 4 or 5 days or so, and you're not being really strict with anything, but you are keeping your time frame for when you're going to eat. Because after about a week or so, when your stomach shrinks, your hunger hormones start coming back into reality, you're going to find that it's going to take less and less for you to fill up. So in other words, you're consuming less calories, and this is where the real weight loss is going to start coming in. So that would probably be the one exception, I would say. But this idea that ultimately calories don't matter and just eat whatever you want is pretty dangerous. And it's also very dangerous for people that have a larger eating window. Not everybody eats within a 45-minute to 1 hour time frame on this plan. Some people have a 4 or 5 hour window. And if you're like me, I'm a fast eater. I know this. I could do a lot of damage if you give me 4 or 5 hours. I've done these experiments on myself. I know what works and what doesn't work for me, and that's why I recommend everybody experimenting a little bit and trying different things. So what if you have a week that's a little bit of a failure, where it's no failure, you learn something. I know that if I have a 4 or 5 hour window every single day, it's too much. Yes, I will still probably lose weight. I will probably not put on as much weight as I once was, but it's not going to be as effective as me if I just stick to my strict OMAD. If I allow myself to eat within about a 1 hour time frame, maybe 2 at the most, then I know I can only do so much. I can only have so much at a time. It's a natural limit for me. So what I would recommend doing, especially if you're brand new to this, or if you're just starting out, or maybe you're having some difficulties getting to that point to where you want to be, going and counting your calories for a week, even as an experiment. See how many calories you're eating in each meal. And it might be pretty telling for you. Some of the stuff you have to kind of guesstimate going online and looking at different food calculators and whatnot. But I think you're going to be surprised at what you find the results are. And don't be afraid if it seems like you're having too few calories, although that is something that can be adjusted too. Like today, if I have a slightly larger meal, then I know tomorrow I'm going to have a smaller one because I'm just not going to be as hungry the next day. That's usually how it works for me. But also, people who are new to this, they're used to eating 3, 4, or 5 meals a day. They're going to try and do an OMAD and have a 500 or 600 calorie meal, and it's not going to work. You're going to be starving. It's going to hurt. I mean, you would lose weight, but why put yourself through that? Know what you need for calories to put yourself at a deficit, and that'll be your size, your meal size. And use that as a reference point. Use that as a frame. I hope this makes sense, and I hope it kind of clears up any of the mystique. Like I say, every now and then, as a sort of a check, like an accounting checks and balances, so to speak, I'll count my calories for a little bit. But other than that, I really pretty much just kind of freestyle, because I know what size of a meal will fill me up. I know what it takes. I know what size of a meal is too large. versus just large enough. And it's become kind of an intuitive process for me, and it will for you. But you also have to bear in mind that I've been doing this for nearly 2 years now, and I've tried every form, every variation of this that I can come up with so that I could find the perfect plan that works for me. And it's worth it for you to do the same. Again, if you have a week where even if you, in your experiments, you put on a couple of pounds, don't look at it as a failure. Look at it as a learning experience. Say to yourself, that's interesting, I learned something. I learned what doesn't work. So that's my take on calorie counting. I hope that was helpful for you. And if you have any other questions or comments, please leave them down below. Feel free to email me. But don't be afraid to use calorie counting as a tool to help you gauge your progress or gauge whether or not you're overdoing it, or to use it as a tool to, or kind of as a guide, so that you get an idea of what kind of meal that you could have. Again, as far as the food goes, the possibilities are endless. But at least this way here, based on your activity levels and your personal activity levels and your other lifestyle factors, you'll have an idea of how much food you should be consuming every single day. And then the rest is up to you. So that is it for me for today. I'm going to finish this walk. It is absolutely beautiful here. I wish you guys all the best. I hope you're having a great week. Very happy OMAD. And of course, be well.